So it's May 9, 2017, and I just thought of recording this on the fly and just upload it right ahead and be spontaneous about this. To any one of you who is new in watching this, I am a Christian and my faith is in the Lord Jesus Christ, and I am currently living in a dysfunctional family with what I suspect also. And I just recently found this out that my mother seems to be highly likely is of a narcissistic personality disordered mother. And if I look at it that way, if that is really true, then my childhood makes sense. The paradigm of that there has to be a golden child and there has to be a black sheep, a scapegoat, and growing up, that the scapegoat role was assigned to me. Fortunately, by God's grace, even though I wasn't yet a believer, I really look back and see things that those are still God's graces for me. I was enrolled in a Catholic school, and though that it wasn't Christian per se, it's Catholic. Um, my that brought me that I still think that gave me an idea about what is good and evil, about what is moral or not, and that also, and fortunately also, that just as I grew up, I I became focused on self development and self improvement, not because I wanted to, like, I wasn't really thinking about I need to get over my dysfunctional family, but more of very childlike concerns, like I want to make friends, I want to do good in school, I want to be friends with good people at school. And now I look back, those things had also been God's graces for me, because now it made me, because that made me try to want to be a different person, and in trying to be a good person in a with good character, that I very much sense that I am different from my family when I try to be a good person. And so fast forward to now, um, I apologize if I'm this is I hope I don't ramble. I haven't had much sleep, but fast forward to now, I I I came back home after leaving for college. When I left for college, I already was a Christian there, but still didn't know. I still didn't know that my family were dysfunctional. I kind of sensed that they were kind of different, but I didn't know that they were dysfunctional. And I even somehow thought that it was me. Um, I sort of blamed myself. There was a part of me that blamed myself, that, and I was already a Christian there at the time. I was thinking, when I felt already when I got educated by the Bible and the principles, and it was so new to me, the wisdom of God, that and just the very um, just how to live life. It was amazing to me, and the wisdom that the Bible gives and how to be a good, just a great person. And I realized that at that time, yeah, like what I was saying, I was blaming myself. I remember telling myself that if only I was like this when I was young, then I wouldn't have probably had been abused by my parents. If only if only I wasn't lazy, if, if only I was positive, if only just I did the best that in everything that I could be and do, then maybe my sister wouldn't have disowned me and in front of everybody, or they would have my family would have probably treated me better. And saying this now, it's just so wrong. Looking back and just hearing myself and just remembering that I said this to myself, I just I just feel so bad. I wanna, if I could go back in time and meet myself and tell her, it's not your fault. It, however amazing and awesome and good you were a kid. You didn't know any better. Um, you were probably also even raised as young as you can remember, as young as you were, that with all this negative self-image that they try to implant in your head. And it's never your fault. As a child, it's never your fault, and it was never my fault. And I could have been really pretty, really smart, and as long as these people have dysfunction in them and how they deal with things, then they're gonna be dysfunctional. You will know the you will know the you will know the tree by its fruits. And so right now, I'm, like I said, I came back here in my parents' house after college. I'm thinking that if only that now that I'm a Christian, now that I've given the power to be awesome, then maybe now they will change, that everything will be different. Now that I am saved, then my family will treat me differently, my life will be different. And yes, I feel different inside, but unfortunately, after 2 to 3 years living here, they're they're still the same. They're still in the same patterns of behavior. They've been abusing me. They've been spreading lies about me. They've had all my relatives go against me because now I no longer live trying to appease them, trying to fit in with them because it doesn't match my faith, and I feel like it's enabling manipulation, and I just didn't feel at peace doing that. I didn't feel at peace being like them. So in return, they're just being difficult towards me. They've been troubling me every day. And what's worse is that it took me 3 years to realize that the very ones who had been attacking my health, my happiness, and my progress are the ones who are my family members, ones who I am living with. And you know how to, I didn't see that because it's all covert. I didn't see it. And if you've been reading and researching about narcissistic family systems, most especially about the covert ones, that's how it is. You don't see it. It's so behind your back that you don't see that they are attacking you. And to put it simply, they can act all okay and say whatever, that everything is all good in your face, but and they can just pull off this Oscar award winning acting daily, but if their heart is not for you, if their heart doesn't mean you well, then that, that's not safe, and that they mean you harm. And I think also that the Lord has blessed me discernment to see beyond the words, beyond the surface level behaviors, and see the motives of the hearts of these people. That they aren't really for my best, they aren't really for my success, they aren't really for my well being. Sometimes they're like, it's what's in it for them, but also other times it's more unproductive like than that. It's how can I pull her down so that I feel better in the meantime, for in the present, while sabotaging her future. And it just feels like the narrative just feels like that for the past 3 years. And I'm glad that I'm seeing it now. So I remember, without even knowing about narcissism, dysfunctional family, I remember praying this before to God. I don't know if 2 or 3 years ago, but I just remember praying that what I asked from God, um, after being heartbroken from a breakup, what I asked from God is clarity. Clarity. And now, I think what I also notice is that in dysfunctional families, especially with mine, the way they thrive and the reason why the way they can keep going into this, they keep living with this dysfunction, is that they are in denial. And I think that that's the reason how I was able to cope growing up, so that I was also in denial. I didn't acknowledge that I was abused. I didn't acknowledge that I was being mistreated. Um, and that was like my coping mechanism. That everything is fine. That that. And right now, I just feel the sense, and I know that God is granting me clarity. And I think that without God, it must be pretty scary to admit what is truly happening in our lives, especially if it's traumatizing, especially if there's just evil that abounds. And I'm glad that He enabled me to see things for what it is. And it's hard. I I I've been crying almost every day, and I don't say this in a pity woe is me kind of way. I'm just saying it's just how it is. And I think it's healthy because I think that it's just I'm realizing for more than 20 years what is going on. I'm just like accepting and realizing it now, and all those events and all those memories. And now there is clarity, but it's not easy. It's, I cry about it, but the thing is, God is with me. And though it's hard sometimes I have to deal with anger. Like, really, I feel like that was righteous anger. Um, seeing that, seeing them continue to be this way, it's just, I have to deal with all these emotions. But God has been so loving to me. It's always comforted me, and sometimes it's just me that doesn't go to Him when I'm not comforted. But since I'm only realizing now that I came home to a dysfunctional family, I thought that after college I will be supportive for me while I'll be supported by them while I prepare my portfolio and other requirements that I need to finish before getting a job. You know how it is. Like, they're just things that you need to prepare in order to get a job. So you kind of like um, need some support and love um, from your family in that stage, and it didn't make sense to me at that time. But that was the time that my mother attacked me the most. It was hard for me to accept that. I was kind of getting the idea, but I didn't. I still was giving her benefit of the doubt. But I was already getting the idea that, hey, maybe she is not for me. Maybe she really doesn't want me to get a job. And it did, because I still trusted her. I still honored her word, that I trusted how she treated me, and that put so much blame and self-hate and guilt. Some are subtly, some are direct, like obvious direct ones, attack in my heart. And that brought so much delay in my life and my progress. And I remember thinking that a project that I could have finished in 2 weeks, a month tops, I guess what, finished in almost 2 years, 1.5 years. And that was because every time I would excel and exert much effort to 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 be motivated and to finish a project, something dramatic always happens. And because I trusted her, because I still honored her, I'd still consider whatever she does. And for some reason, that just stops me from working and from finishing work. And I remember I always talked about prioritizing me, my work, getting a job. But for some reason, it just feels like I'm talking to a wall. It's not getting through to her. Or now I think that she's just really denying it, because I really think she doesn't want me to get a job, because it threatens her She wants people to be dependent on her. And so when I finally got everything I need to move forward finished, I was about to start um, working for money. I was starting to start projects for that are profitable, and I noticed that I couldn't finish anything, and I was so tired and I was so stressed, and I don't know how, but just for some reason I've come to and reached to a conclusion that someone in this house is just really not for me, is attacking me, is against me. And I know this sounds crazy. I myself just really wants to be cautious, so am I being paranoid? But with all the reading I've done, it just makes sense that my own mother had been attacking me. Now, um, still trusting that, you know what, if God will let me, if God will deliver me, and if God will provide, then I'll give this a shot. I told them it's because, still have no income coming in, but I have a good education background. I now have a good portfolio ready and materials ready, and the only thing is that I couldn't get my profitable projects on the ground because something's attacking me. It's just there's always drama, there's always an issue, and so with much prayer, I I I I told my parents, both my parents, that I'm moving out because I really think that that's just I felt in my heart that that's the only relief and solution that I can find. It's just for me to be physically away from them. I don't like I need to breathe. I need to work when they're not around because their presence is so toxic. And if you have narcissistic family members, you know what I mean. um I'm not being dramatic, I'm not exaggerating this. And um and so I gave it a shot, and I told them, dear parents, are still pretending like I have no idea about their narcissism, but I was starting to put up boundaries. But anyway, I told them, dear parents, I'm gonna move out. I need to prioritize my work, and I need to borrow money at least for the first months, and or maybe yeah, and and at least for the first year. First one, it said 6 months or a year, and I'll pay you back everything. That would be I pay you everything back, and in a year or as soon as I'll start earning, I'll stop asking for money, and whatever you spent in me leaving, then I'll pay it. Um, my mom agreed, and my dad kind of just I didn't know what he said, but he didn't say no either. But so I went on, and took me 2 months. Took me That was around March, I think. It's already May, so it took me almost. It'll be about 3 months now in unit hunting, um, unit hunting and looking for a good unit. And all the while, the more it is being confirmed to me that my mother is narcissistic, because she's just pointlessly trying to cook up arguments, issues that doesn't really have a weight on it. Like, it's really not important. It's like she starts it for the sake of distraction and argument, but there's really no point. And she twists my words, she accuses, and she really traps you into this whole negative vibe. And the more she does it, the more it just clicks to me that she is narcissistic. And that's pretty kind of also like just a process also for me, because I've seen and believed this person as something growing up. And if I acknowledge my mom as a narcissistic person, then I gotta like, all the memories would be rewritten as this person is narcissistic, and start to question, was everything true? Is everything a lie about this person, and everything I've known about this person and the time I spent with this person? But anyway, I've felt in my heart that God really wanted me to leave this place. For I know that God can work even if you think that the odds are against you, because I really know that I've experienced that, and I know that even that it's just, if he says something, it will happen. And I just really felt that God wants me to leave. And he said, I remember when I was talking to God and just crying out to God, about everything going on and about leaving my family, because I think it's an uncommon thing, maybe even for Christians to pray, like, do I leave my family? Um, and I remember getting this verse that I didn't expect. I expected something like, you know, repent or honor your father and mother. That's what I expected. But instead, I got something that says, whatever causes you to stumble, cut it out. And I've read verses in my quiet times about God's deliverance, and they do these things to you because they don't know me, or they will surely gather against you, but it is not because of me. And for your sake, they will fall. And these are just like the promises, the verses that um, I receive in my quiet time with God. And so once I already found a decent unit, a decent place, and everything is ready by tomorrow, Wednesday, my agent is ready, the place is ready, the place is probably cleaned out, um, the contract is ready, and my mother suddenly says no. And you have to know what that feels, because I just feels like before all this, it felt like I really don't know how I could go on one more day around this person. Like, I can't go on one more day around a person like this. And my father works abroad, he doesn't work in the same country. And from time to time, yearly, he comes home and he is physically abusive. I just remember thinking, I cannot spend another birthday here, another miserable birthday here. I remember saying, I cannot be in the same place, feeling the same way, fearing the same thing, which is to be physically abused and potentially being sexually abused, because I've been sensing weird signals from my own father sexually. This made me sound too much. I know other people won't believe me when I say that to anyone. But I just don't trust him that way. And the fact that I don't trust my own father that way, then I just don't feel safe. I just remember feeling like this was my hope. I wanted to move out, and I've stopped wherever I'm doing for 2 months to focus on looking for a place I could move into, all the research and the visits. And can I do, like, I can't control them to give me money, even though I know that they can afford it. Just earlier, my mother was just saying no, it's just being difficult for no reason. And earlier also, my dad said no through Facebook Messenger. He was saying he was gonna build a house in the province. And it just felt so like, why would you tell me that you're not gonna, you don't wanna help your daughter out just so you could have another house, which is just a luxury. It just feels like a luxury because they don't need another house. And but then I'm not so, I just find that like really, just how they are, and just but for me, I wasn't broken about that anymore, because I mean, I didn't really expect any love or support or a high standard of morals from them. Sorry to say that, but and I just explained my side, why I was gonna do it, that was gonna be good for my work, and that I just explained my stand. And right now he hasn't replied, but he it shows that he's seen it. So right now I'm already processing plan B. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to leave immediately. I think my father will arrive in around 4 months, and I don't want to be around him when he is here. I don't want to be dependent on them when he is here. And I know that I've been a believer, I've been a Christian, and I've always known that I am his child, but I know also that the past months I haven't been giving it all my all. When I'm broken and when I'm hurt, I still retreat to just numbing myself out with media and movies and TVs and online. online content and like articles and YouTube videos. And right now, because I don't want to be in the same place I found myself the past years anymore, today, Tuesday, May 9th, 2017, I go all the way. I'm going all in. And I'm walking on waters. I'm going to hold on. That darkness has not overcome the light. That Jesus is victorious. That just as Peter walked on water when he was looking at Jesus, that's what I'm gonna do. Even if there are winds and waves coming at him. And that made him drown because he looked at the winds and the waves. I'm not gonna look at the winds and waves anymore. I'm going to stand. And I'm going to trust what God says. That He will deliver me. That His plans for me are well and good. That He loves me. That I am His daughter. And that I am a daughter of the King. And that no amount of smear campaign and how many relatives would turn away from me could ever change my identity. No amount of friends that I lose or the scornful looks I get every day from my own mother, from my own sister, from everyone else, or from my every relatives that they have spoken to. No amount will ever change my identity because Jesus has paid the price. And if I have to just sing that and declare that every day and to keep reading His word, to just look at it, I'm not gonna stop and I'm gonna give it my all for me to never be here again in the same place. I'm just gonna trust God. I don't think this is His plan for me. Or at least this is not. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna trust it. I'm just gonna trust Him. And there's something inside of me that says fight. Like, I know there are some circumstances where you need to let go, that you need to let be. But something inside me is saying fight. I'm just gonna fight. I'm gonna fight to leave this family with all I got. I'm gonna start today. And maybe I'll keep uploading. I just surrender my journey to the Lord. And I can't pretend to be okay. I can't pretend to have it all figured out and tell you it's gonna be, give you a final answer to everything. But today I'm all in. I'm all in. I told God this. I'm all in. And I'm gonna walk by faith, not by sight.